going to be able to get to every question. So, you know, people raise your hands. I'll try to get as many as possible. We'll try to go around the room. There are people with microphones in the audience. This young lady, for example, an example. So wait until she gets there so everybody can hear your question. And the only other thing is, since we have a lot of people and not that much time, if everybody could try to keep their question relatively short. That will be helpful. Okay, and stand when I've called on you. No, you don't need to stand before I've called on you, but stand when I've called on you. Okay, this young lady in the black right here, she gets the first question. Introduce yourself to me.
My name is Patricia Zay.
Hey, Patricia.
Hi. First I want to say I'm very glad and thankful that you are a president. And 5 years ago I told my friend Tim that Barack Obama would be president, and he said, no, not in my lifetime, there won't be a black president. And I said, just wait a few years, and when you won, I said, I told you so.
See there?
And
always satisfying to say I told you so.
But he was very happy for me to tell him so. So my question is, you talk about healthcare, which usually means insurance after you're sick. What about making our lifestyle healthier? Like, we have corn syrup, we have trans fats, and all our food. Those things are illegal in Europe. And I know people that go to Europe and they overeat, but they lose weight because their foods don't have all the hormones and the additives. And also, you know that Clinton put legislation into force that limited the dumping of mercury into the rivers, and then you know who came into office and took that legislation away, and now the mercury levels in the rivers are out of control.
Okay. Let me answer your first question. Okay, first of all, if you burn that many calories asking a question, you know, I mean, fired up. So you'll be able to eat whatever you want.
No, not trans fats.
Anyway, all right, let me answer your question. And that, did you just hit? Hand the mic. Anybody else? This is actually a serious question. You're exactly right that if we are going to reform our healthcare system, what we can't do is simply add more people to a hugely inefficient system that is costing us more and more each and every year. Because eventually it'll bankrupt families, it'll bankrupt state governments, and it'll bankrupt the country. So the only way that we can initiate true healthcare reform is if we control costs. And one of the most important ways for us to control costs is to deal with the issue of prevention, which means making sure that we have proper nutrition for some of my first supporters. But let me tell you, you can't just be talking more money without also talking about how are we going to reform and make the system better. There's got to be a reform agenda in exchange for the money. There's got to be a reform agenda in exchange for the money. So don't just say, give us more money or smaller classrooms, but you're not willing to consider, for example, how are we going to do better assessments, or how are we going to work to improve teacher performance, and if a teacher is not improving, how do we get them to choose a different career? Right? I mean, there's got to be some serious conversation about that. Now, before I get off the topic of education, let me do a little more truth telling. Parents, you can't complain about the schools and complain about the teachers, but when your child comes home, they're playing video games and not doing homework. And you don't have time to go to your teacher-parent meeting. Our parents have to instill a sense of excellence and a thirst for knowledge. I mean, the truth of the matter is, even as overcrowded as schools may be, as poor the computer equipment may be, if you took a bunch of kids right now from China or India and you put them in these classrooms from their perspective, these would be unbelievable schools. I mean, they don't have better facilities, but they're outperforming us in math and science. Why is that? Well, part of it is that we as parents are not insisting and demanding on the kind of higher performance from our kids. So everybody's got to be more accountable in order to improve.
President Obama, our school is in big trouble because of budget cuts. Our whole 25 of our teachers already have been fired to get pink slips, and the whole school, my class, we made this.
Oh, you made are those letters for me?
Yes.
Well, what's your name?
Ethan Lopez.
Ethan Lopez? How old are you, Ethan?
8.
8? So what grade are you in?
3rd grade.
3rd grade? Do you like school?
Yes.
Yes, you do? Is that your mom next to you?
Yes.
Yes? She looks very nice. Well, as I said before, Ethan, we're going to do everything we can to protect our teachers. We already passed a law in Washington that's going to give more money to the state to help keep teachers in their jobs. And one of the things that we didn't talk about earlier, we're also going to be putting more money into school construction, because there are a lot of overcrowded schools and overcrowded classrooms that aren't wired for the internet effectively, and we are going to make sure that we invest in that as well, because I want you to get a first-class education. What do you want to be when you grow up? Have you decided yet?
Yes.
What would you like to be?
A cop.
A cop? Well, I can tell that you will be an outstanding police officer. Your mom's proud of you. We're all proud of you. Give Ethan a big round of applause.